Hello, this is Abby Jamison, and this is my presentation for my practicum project, volunteer training for our Rock Steady Boxing program. Rock Steady Boxing Rocky Mount is an affiliate operated under my employer, the Franklin County Family YMCA. I am the wellness director and head Rock Steady Boxing coach there. Rock Steady Boxing is a program designed solely for patients suffering from Parkinson's disease. Parkinson's is a neurodegenerative disease that develops gradually and often makes its first appearance with slight, even imperceptible symptoms, such as a slight tremor in the hand or leg, most often only on one side of the body. Parkinson's is chronic and progressive. There is no cure. Parkinson's occurs when dopamine-producing neurons in the substantia nigra portion of the brain die off, although we do not know the reason for their death. Several factors may play a part, including genetics, environment, past medical history, and the presence of proteins called Lewy bodies inside the brain. Forced intense exercise has been proven to help decrease the signs and symptoms of Parkinson's, even helping to reverse some of them. Boxing helps combat the symptoms of Parkinson's by increasing hand-eye coordination, speed of movement, flexibility, strength, agility, and rapid muscle firing. Boxing helps increase functional fitness. Participants walk better. They fall better. They get up and get down from the ground safer. They increase torso rotation. They improve their balance and they strengthen their vocal cords. Parkinson's steals the ability to speak. The support system of Rock Steady participants, coaches, and volunteers helps the all too common unseen symptoms as well: depression, anxiety, fear, and loneliness. At Rock Steady, we believe one of the most beneficial exercises is to have fun. We design all of our sessions to be hard, challenging, but most of all, fun. We provide tough love, we provide hope, we provide a challenge and respect. We acknowledge the disease and we fight along with them. I'm one of 2 head coaches of the program. We cannot facilitate all the participants without help. This project was designed to give volunteers a basic overview and understanding of the disease, of the program, and of the part that they play in that. I began my project with a very informal needs assessment. I am the main head coach. I probably do about 80 to 90% of the coaching. And I quickly realized that in order to safely work with our participants, we would need help. I worked with the program for several months before this training began to better fully and completely appreciate the need. I sat down with our other head coach, who also happens to be my boss and client, Kevin McAlexander. We first listed our goals, which included learning the mission and values of the YMCA, as well as design and implementation of Rock Steady Boxing classes, safety measures, and most importantly, how to help participants have fun and realize that they are more than their diagnosis. The second step was to start with research. I will discuss this research more on a later slide. I met with 2 SMEs, one being my client as head coach, Kevin, and the other a physical therapist, Letitia Furrow, who deals solely with Parkinson's patients. I learned the value and importance of programs like these and what we can do as coaches to make them, the classes, better, how we can make them more beneficial to the patients. I even recruited a physical therapist assistant as a volunteer, and she's been amazing. After compiling all the research and compartmentalizing it, I chose active learning techniques. I chose a game that we play with our Rocksteady boxing participants called Get to Know Yous as our opening exercise to encourage training participants to get to know each other. I chose guided note-taking, a crossword puzzle, and a Jeopardy game to help them with hard-to-remember terms. I chose designing their own program as a task force project. Lastly, I created assessment surveys to help them solidify what they learned as well as to provide feedback to the trainer, me. All of this was compiled and provided to participants in training manuals. I created a trainer's manual which specified verbatim what the trainer should say and how long to spend on different parts of the training. All training activities and answers were attached to the manual. So the volunteers for the crossword puzzle, they received the clues and a blank crossword puzzle. The trainer's manual has both the clues and the puzzle as well as all the answers. So on and so forth. It has the Jeopardy answers, that sort of thing. I created a PowerPoint presentation to go along with the training. Slides were used as guides with minimal information on each. Most information was passed along to participants through active learning methods. I submitted the PowerPoint, training manual for participants, trainer's manual, and assessment surveys to my client as deliverables. The obstacles that I faced were honestly fairly minor. The first one was too much research. I realized if you just Google Parkinson's disease, you will get 1,000 different hits, thousands upon thousands of different hits. I then Googled Parkinson's signs and symptoms, and still just too much. I then went to Parkinson's signs, symptoms, forced intense exercise, just to narrow down the field. There still was a lot to weed through, a lot of medical journals. The physical therapist, my SME, Letitia Furrow, gave me an excellent book. It's about a 700-page book solely on Parkinson's. It was an excellent guide, and I really was able to use a lot of it. I actually ended up purchasing one for our program just to have for the information contained in it. Busy SMEs was my second one. Even Kevin, the head coach that I work with, he took 2 weeks off in the middle of this, right when I was supposed to speak with him. He was on vacation. And then Letitia Furrow, the physical therapist, I had told her about it and then reminded her about it, and she said, I'll get it to you, and then she got it to me the day before she went on vacation. With both of them, one thing that really helped was I did my homework before I met with them. So instead of presenting them with 20 different questions or what is this, tell me whatever you know off the top of your head, I came to them with specific questions about how forced intense exercise helps or what specific exercises help versus, oh, just give me 10 different exercises that help. So I came to them with specifics, which really did help our interview together, as well as it helped me be able to focus their responses and use them in my presentation. The last one was a casual work environment. I had to stay very vigilant with my follow-ups, especially with my client. He is also my boss. We work in a very informal setting. for client conversation, the notes, I had to summarize our conversations that we had face to face and kind of try and go back and remember exactly what it was we discussed. The only thing that we had a sit down face to face specific meeting about this project was to list our goals. Final outcome and what I wish I had done differently. I am very pleased with the outcome of the project. It is something that we are going to be able to use. I will be using it within the next few weeks with our first set of volunteers. We have several that are we are utilizing right now as volunteers. One is the physical therapist assistant, another is a nurse, another is a spouse. They are all very familiar with the disease already, but they will be my first participants to sit through the training, so I'm very excited about it. And we will schedule trainings probably every 2 to 3 months as new volunteers come in. I learned that I really do love training, and I love creating the training manuals and material. I am a teacher at heart. That's really what I want to do with my degree. And so this is just really right up my alley, just being able to take everything and compile it into something that is teachable and learnable and useful. As you can see, I did learn that I get very overwhelmed with the amount of research and the amount of active learning techniques. So that was a bit of a challenge for me to just narrow that down. But I think I got a good system in place. I would have managed my time better. I had 2 mini vacations planned, and I also took my daughter to youth camp during the middle of this. While I did, for the most part, stay on top of my timeline for those couple mini vacations, and when I took her, I really found myself having to play catch up, and it was very, very stressful. As a teenager, I used to procrastinate everything, and I found I don't enjoy that anymore. So I would have probably managed my time better to put the heavier loads maybe in the earlier weeks when I had the research, but I would have been able to put more of just the compiling materials or organizing it into different subjects and creating different portions of the training manual rather than having them right at the times when I was gone. Lastly, I would have chosen a location other than my current place of work solely because it is so informal. While I do feel that I learned a lot, I do believe I would have learned more or maybe faced more of a real world challenge. As I said, I did not really face that many challenges and nothing that was insurmountable or not easily fixed. And so while I thoroughly enjoyed this, and for the sake of everybody else taking this class after me, I would not recommend that it be a requirement that it be outside of your place of work. I do feel that I would have gotten a bit more of a real world feel if I had had to go outside of my location and do my project. Overall, this project was great. I enjoyed it. I'm grateful that I was able to do the training, something that I'm very interested in. I feel that this project was very applicable and that I learned a lot. I hope you enjoyed the presentation.